Hi everyone. Hello. My name is Deepak Jain. I represent Amazon here. आपकी अपनी दुकान Huddar. We just went through the Great Indian Shopping Festival. I've been into workforce and allied industry for the last 20 years now. Workforce has been my bread and butter. I eat, sleep, breathe workforce, and that's how I've become over a period of time managing workforce for a third party, being a client, managing third party partners, setting up workforce COEs, working in the third party and explaining to client why do we miss service levels, and then changing tables to asking partners why did we miss service levels. I've been doing it throughout my life. Very passionate about WFM, and that's the reason I'm here and happy to share my views and journeys with all of you. On a personal front, married, I have a daughter.
I'm Manish. I work with FirstSource. I work in the capacity of global workforce head for FirstSource. Okay, about me, around 25 years of experience. Started my career with manufacturing, then moved into service quality with the service industry, managed operations, and then moved into planning. So in a way, the opposite cycle, right? So first I tried to do things, and then I started doing planning. About FirstSource is 18,000 plus strong organization. We have a global footprint. We are a BPM company. We're based out of headquartered in India, but our main operations are in US, UK, India, and Philippines, mostly servicing to US and UK customers. That's it from me.
So this is Ashok, Mehra. I work for Wipro. I think that company doesn't do it in production. So which is why I'm not talking. So he's also from Wipro. That's why.
Used to be.
So I spent about, I think, more than 3 decades of work. I've been management consultant and change consultant all through my life. Worked for Tata Group for about 24 years before coming to Wipro. At a very later stage of my life. And right now I'm managing workforce management, and change management for Wipro. I'm also looking at various other aspects because everybody thought I was a change consultant. So a lot of merger acquisition kind of scenarios. Whatever company we acquire or buy, I'm able to the change management from last time. So here I would be very happy to share all my experiences from WFM standpoint and how that would be brought from the change standpoint. So I think I will be very happy to discuss that. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Hello, my name is Sreesha and I work for a company called Finastra. So Finastra, some of you may not be aware, but this was originally known as a company called Mysys, and we are a company that is involved in making software for all types of financial institutions. So starting from core banking onwards into the insurance industry, to lending and community banking and so on. So what I do is I manage the global workforce for the global services part of Finastra. At least I used to manage it till last week. Beginning of this week I moved to a new role, but anyway, it's another story. So thank you for the opportunity, and I'm looking forward to sharing my knowledge with all of you. Thank you.
Thank you. Hi everyone, my name is Kalpak. I head HR for SITEL Group in India. SITEL Group is one of the top 10 CRM service provider globally. Besides CRM, we are also into talent analytics services and consulting. Just about my career, it's been around like 25 years. I generally split my career into pre-Dell and post-Dell era. Because before joining Dell, I was predominantly into manufacturing. This is a beautiful city. I always feel like coming back here. It's a second home for me. I spent 10 years of my career in Bangalore, so it's always good to be here. And I hope that we'll be interesting conversation.
Hi everyone, my name is Yogesh, Varma, and I'm Solution Consultant Manager for NICE. I work as a product expert on workforce management and automation, two very interesting subjects. And primarily I've been with this organization for the past, I'll complete 11 years now in January. and I'm excited to be part of this panel discussion. NICE as a company is primarily into providing enterprise solutions to enterprise customers across the globe. We are headquartered in the US, we are Nasdaq listed, and we are about 5,000 plus employee company. In India, our operations are primarily in Pune, which is our largest GTC, Global Talent Center, and we have offices in Bangalore, Delhi, and Mumbai. So, on a personal front, I have 2 daughters, and the elder daughter will complete her post-graduation in March next year. So, that's it. I'm happy to be part of this panel. Thank you.
Hello everyone, good morning. This is Krishna, Muniramaiah. I am part of the NTT. I head the HR for the NTT's global delivery centers. Personally, I come with over 20 years of experience, largely in HR. As regards to the NTT, probably I'll just give a little background as to our journey so far. So the larger entity group, I'm sure all of you know, is headquartered out of Japan. And NTT, over the last so many decades, had acquired many companies like Dimension Data, Secure24, NTT CMS, and so on. But the group decided that it's worthwhile to bring all these companies together and form a new company called as NTT Limited. Now, this was in works all of last year, and as of July 1 this year, we launched NTT Limited, headquartered out of London. So I'm part of this entity now, and we have 4 delivery centers, one in Bangalore, one in Prague, one in Malaysia, one in South Africa. So I head entire gamut of HR, right from talent acquisition all the way up to the exit for these delivery centers. So when Partha called me, I gladly accepted this because, as many of the speakers have highlighted, workforce management is a key today, right, for our existence, for our survival, for our growth. And as HR, I want to learn. I'm here more to learn the best practices and hear from all the experts from the industry. Thank you. Thank you for having me here.
Hey, good morning everyone. My name is Parikh. I support workforce management and capacity planning for Sutherland globally. And I represent 600 plus team members of my group. They're spread across 19 different countries. As a Sutherland as an organization, we look to solve for our clients' problems, and the goal is to provide a one harmonic organization that is driving to one single solution, which is to make our customers satisfied with and making their customers happy, right? And a large part of what I'm excited about is learning and the conversations that we'll have here. And it's great to see a lot of the organizations here that we are a supplier of, and a lot of organizations here that we are a client of, which is always an interesting mix. And so looking forward to the conversations. Thank you very much.
Thanks. Thanks to all the panel to introduce themselves. Though it's a very homogeneous group, relatively homogeneous, more of IT and ITES, like some portion of it is we call it less, like blue collar to me creates another one challenge in the workforce management. So not easy to deal in a blue collar organizations. So my first question is to Deepak, and that, by the way, a question to everybody, right? We play different questions and then we'll take everybody's opinions on it, so the team can gain a lot from their experiences. So I'll start with you. HR is known to create matrices and matrices, right? Everywhere there's a matrix, right? And sometimes the business leaders get completely away from those matrices, like they believe they don't need us. I had an old boss of mine used to work with sometimes tell us, saying, you guys look like a watermelon, right? You guys show everything green, but inside everything is running red. Like all the KPIs look green, and by the way, I'm not going to answer my shareholder, I'm running red. Right? So, key question to each one of you: what are the key matrices which you right in your businesses? And maybe related with a few top business goals which your company is trying to. I know the list of matrices can be long list, right? Focus on what are the key matrices, what are the key primary business goals for your business, and how are they doing?
Thanks. Like as you mentioned, there are thousands of matrices that we measure, we try and measure, and at least we have on our dashboards. I'll specifically talk about Amazon. I think we are very passionate about 2-3 things. First and the foremost thing, how are we doing for our customers? What are we doing for our customers? So customer satisfaction is one of the metric which is measured, seen day in, day out in any review and any dashboard that we see. The second metric that we look at, which is more to see that how are we balancing our customer satisfaction with our internal goals, is what we look at from a standpoint that what is our cost per call, what is our cost to serve the customer, and third metric that we look at is how our employees, what they have to say about us, which is basically voice of employees. I think these three are the key matrices, and rest of other matrices only supplements whatever we have to do with this. So as long as these three matrices are good, I think we are doing good for our customers, for our stakeholders, shareholders, and our employees.
Manish.
I think you have made the point, right? I think these are the 3 key matrices which are common to all customer servicing industries. As you rightly said, that the number of metrics can be enormous, right? From productivity measurement to customer satisfaction measurement to client satisfaction measurement, and so on and so forth. I think from a WFM perspective, if I try to understand what are the 2 or 3 critical things that I would like to manage, one would be demand and supply. What is my demand coming in, and that directly ties up to my organization's revenue goals. And second is supply, because in service industries, 50 to 70% of the cost can be attributed directly to variable manpower cost. And if we are able to manage supply better, supply of manpower, seats, technology, etc., I think we are in a good position. Those are the 2 very important metrics. Third metrics that I personally want to drive, and I drive very, very passionately, is about how happy our employees are. We don't control the entire employee experience. I think the primary responsibility of controlling the employee experience is always resting with the supervisor. But we are a big enabler from a WFM function perspective. People want shift changes. If we deny it, we add to a dissatisfaction of an employee. People want leave, we deny it, we add to one more dissatisfaction, and make it more and more difficult for the first line supervisor to help the customer. So happy employees, happy customer, happy client. If you look at that philosophy, I think the most important third stakeholder for us is the employee. And if we are able to take care of their needs, so scheduling, forecasting, and there are then host of metrics there. But I think these are 3 very critical ones: managing demand, managing supply, and then taking care of employee satisfaction.
For me, you talked about a lot of metrics. For me, there's 2 metrics. A large portion of my salary is dependent on these 2 metrics only. And I do not get any money in my pocket every quarter if I do not get these 2 metrics done. So first is the revenue realization for my people. For example, if you say people bring the cost, people bring the revenues. No machine can give you the revenues, only people will give the revenues. That is my whole thinking of saying, if I'm planning revenue, is my supply enough that I manage the revenue? And if I bring that particular human resource, is that at a cost which can give me the right kind of margin which I'm looking at? Still I compete with the customers and get the best. And every other metrics follows me between these 2. For example, employee experience, my customer experience, my various other experiences will come into this. And of late, we have just tried to work on the culture part of Wipro, which says that these 2 metrics are not enough, Ashok. Now the employee experience is also important. If employee is not happy, if my customers are not happy, you won't get even this margin, you won't get this kind of variable salary. So I'm totally stuck in that kind of thing. So only 2 metrics I work, and third one becomes the employee experience, and I think my margin is going to go down personally in my life. So I think that's what I work on.
Thanks, Ashok. So of course, many of the metrics we have are pretty much common here. But one of the things which we track from a global services perspective is how quickly our software is able to realize the value to its customers, right? So the time to value is something which we measure. And one of the ways which we do that is in services, the way we engage with the various delivery models, we have what's known as the unified delivery model, right? And we say that a third of our delivery has to come from something onshore, a third of it has to come from remote offshore delivery, and a third has to come from the partner ecosystem. So we pretty much measure all these very clearly to ensure that that's the best and optimal way to speed up the time to value for our customers. So that's something we keep our eye on very diligently.
Really appreciate the partner companies don't believe in the partner ecosystem, or they say it, but they don't believe.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, that's important. We have to recognize that. So that's, I think, is a bit of a differentiating factor in the mention. Thanks. Thanks.
So the industry that we are in, I am in, there are only two kinds of people. One, those who support the customer. Second category is those who support the customer. So in SITEL, what we have done with performance management is pretty simple. For first category of people who support the customers, we only measure something called CMSR, Client Metric Success Rate. One metric, everybody across accounts, across programs, they are measured against something called CMSR. How much percentage of your client metric you are meeting or beating, that's what delivers you number. And the second category of people are measured on 3 critical metrics. One is the people metric, which could be nutrition, which could be our employee net promoter score. Second category is practice, which gets into how you get your work done, hygiene of you getting work done, which eventually delivers the client satisfaction. And the third piece, which every people manager should be accountable, is the financials. And depending upon the role, financial metrics are aligned. So we keep it pretty simple. The idea is that if the person gets into the paralysis of data, then they won't be able to focus on the work that they are supposed to do. So our idea is to keep the metrics so simple that a person can measure it every day and know how they are.
From a solution or a product perspective, we see customers measuring, in terms of workforce management, customers measuring forecasting accuracy, how accurate the forecasts are with respect to the requirements. There are other things which are being measured like schedule efficiency, etc. But in a contact center world, the biggest metrics that we see customers measuring is adherence. Adherence is like how well the people are adhering to their specific schedules, because that has a direct impact on the customer satisfaction and revenues. So that's the reason I think that metrics is being measured very, very closely. And there are real-time monitors to keep track of people who are not adhering to it and taking corrective actions. Similarly, in a back office environment where we see there's a different challenge altogether, and there the measurement of adherence is a little difficult, primarily because the technology there is not so advanced to keep track of all the various activities that the people are doing, as compared to a contact center where there is a lot of technology available to capture each and every state of the agent primarily. So I feel in back office and in front office, the real-time adherence is a very important metrics to be measured, which has a direct impact on productivity as well as overall profitability of the organization. So that's one.
So we have probably close to a dozen metrics that we look at, but the key is the revenue metrics. That's number one, and the people metrics is the number two. Now, revenue metrics has different flavors that goes by region, country, business unit, and so on, and which is very well defined. So this is the revenue they need to meet, and how are they going to meet? So there is an execution plan, then there is a design plan, how to go about with this revenue. People metrics, definitely there are quite a lot of things that we do measure in terms of cost optimization, resource utilization, and I think somebody brought that up, onshore, offshore. So there are various metrics that we look at, but these are the two primary ones that
within our organization, having 200-300 plus clients, so metrics is a relative term to the individual clients. As an organization, we look to target NPS and employee NPS, right? That's our highest measure of success as to how our employees feeling coming into work and how are they supporting our customers. From a workforce management standpoint, my team and myself, we focus on what can we do to provide near real-time actionable insight to our service delivery partners so they can support our clients a little bit better.
Thank you. From various conversations, and one of the areas which really bothers in this area of workforce is what are you chasing? Right? What is the possible benchmark you want to achieve in a particular area? Interesting statement, I want to achieve client satisfaction. Where are you going in that part of stuff that you do? There are stages where you will be always dissatisfied. You're going to be employee satisfaction, there are areas to work upon. Management's coming out and saying, no, my cost per person should go down to the level. I think the benchmark can be zero, if they can get down to that level too, right? They can attempt to do that too, right? Or my revenue, whatever, right? And I'm sure you work from different industries as well. Are there some benchmark numbers you're changing? Because I've been scrambling to really figure out this from a Gartner report and a Forrester report and all various countries, various industries. A lot of it for me is, not very articulated, right? And sometimes it looks like an endless cheese of reaching to a place where, frankly, nobody would be happy about doing whatever we're trying to do, right? So, would you be willing to share with the team if there are any specific benchmark numbers on a specific metric that you have either achieved or you're striving towards? That's it, right? I'm not saying that you would have achieved, but you will striving to achieve. Any thought process on that? And you guys can, anyone can jump into the question. Let's break the monolithic.
So I'll take a shot at that first. Okay. I think when I said that my role is basically to get the revenues, and if you have the revenues going up, your margins can also grow. You can't have a higher margin at a lower revenue. So if I look at particular thing, I strive for, say, I'll give you one small anecdote. When I was consulting, not really WFM, but I was consulting. So I went overseas to meet Becton Dickinson senior guys, right? And they said, do you have this particular skill? So I said, no. They said, you have got close to 2 lakh people, but still have done that kind of skill. You can't find one skill out of that. But that I said, it's a unique skill which I do not have. I might have so many skills, but not this unique skill. So I strive for saying that if somebody asks me, do you have that skill? I should never say no. I should always say, yes, I've got this skill. Only thing is I have to source where from. That's it. So that is what I need to strive from, because that will bring me the revenue part. And if I have so many people, so many things on the particular unique skill, then I will also be able to build a margin on that. So both my goals of revenues and margin will get filled if I say yes to a skill. If I say no to a skill, then it becomes very difficult for me to do that part. And I won't get my salary.
So Ashok, leading from there, I think what you said was that you would never like to say no to a request, right? So I think one of the important things there is that to have a very robust partner ecosystem, which will help you to find that skill, right? So the wider you cast your net, the greater the success of finding that esoteric rare skill. Yeah, so I think that's an accepted fact in our business.
I think on the interesting point that you raised, and we have looked at it slightly differently. And we told our people that a few years ago that SITEL should strive to look at only one metric differently, and that's for everybody, is that you would never lose a client for your performance. And that's what last 20 years we are in India. We haven't lost a single client because of our performance. So I think it might look very simple a metric, but the amount of effort that goes in maintaining that metric is huge, but its impact is very high.
I think that's a very interesting thing that you raised. I think all of us are in this challenge today, if you ask me. Let's say, when compared to last 2 decades, our challenges are just only increasing, right? There is always a revenue pressure, there's always a cost pressure. And that, coupled with the employee experience, and we spoke of gig workforce, we spoke of the Gen Z now, beyond millennials, I'm saying now, right? So each one's needs are different, and how do you kind of keep a fine balance between all of this? And I think that's where we as HR have a huge challenge to kind of deal with. And I think, it's we just need to be innovative, creative, transform our thought process, because this is not going to change. I think it's just going to become even more challenging over the next decade, because everybody wants it at a lower cost, but the best of the service. So how would you get it? And then people want the best of the experience, and well, that's the need, and you have to meet that. I think this is going to continue, and the industry, these forums have to come together, find common solutions, because it's a problem for everyone. It's just not for one, right? It's a common problem across. So we all have to come collectively, find solutions for this. Otherwise, we will be staring at this problem. That's my thought.
Just what I would add to that is, from what we do a little bit differently in our target from Sutherland as an organization is to look for 100% referenceability of a client, right? I think from our founders' perspective, that's probably a single goal that kind of drives a lot of the KPIs, a lot of the different things, right? So the cost and the revenue propositions and all those stuff never goes away, right? You always want to do cheaper, faster, better, right? But in order to get to all that stuff, you don't want to lose clients in the process. So, from an organization standpoint, 100% referenceability of all of our customers, and from a workforce management standpoint, we look to have a very specific competitive advantage that we provide to our clients.
I'll just leave this question first open to the audience in case you have any questions for the panel before I switch over from data and matrices to slightly more complicated subject as you go ahead.
Hi everyone. Hi. You can hear. My name is Prem. The traditional thought process always has been that if you had a good day, your service levels would have been met. So that's typically been a typical definition of having a good day in a contact center. What I wanted to get your thoughts is, has that school of thought changed? Because there's a new school of thought which is emerging, which says that it's not probably service levels that you need to look at, but you probably need to look at the average speed of answer. There's another school of thought that says maybe you look at a blend of defining a good day as being a blend of having service level and average speed of answer. So I wanted to get your thoughts on that, and if there have been any initiatives or any thoughts on re-looking at this very differently, any experimentation which has happened, and if you could share some of those results on this.
Thanks for the question, Prem. Interesting one. This used to be a question I used to ask in the interviews when I used to interview people. Okay, so that's why I raised my hand and said, let me handle that question. The question that you asked, that what is good, it would depend upon the organization that you are in, the status you are in, and the situation that you are handling, right? So it will be very subjective basis the situation that we're talking about. But what is good, I think they define good from a workforce management standpoint is, I believe when obviously you meet your service levels, but I would say if you have met your service levels, you have met at least 2 other goals. One is that you have managed with the headcount that you had, and your adherence was good enough. As long as these 2 things are along with service level met, I think it's a good enough definition for they to be called as good. But I'm happy to hear if there are some other thoughts, suggestions on this. What else can make the day good?
So, I will agree with you. As long as you're, from a WFM professional perspective, as long as what you have planned for and what actually happened against that plan matches, that's a good day, right? Volumes can shift because of any reason. It can be, absolutely out of control. So your ASA might go for a toss, your services level might go for a toss. Right? As long as what you have planned for and you are coming closer to that plan, as close to that plan as possible, that's a good day. Right? Rest on second part of the problem then is how can we plan better? Right? So that every day is a good day. Right? I think those are the two simple things that I would probably look at from a workforce professional perspective. Plan and how close I have executed the plan. And second, how good am I at planning? Right? If both the things are good, then it is a great day. If plan and execution is good, it's a good day. That's how I would probably look at it.
Do I have a minute? I think my answer is going to be more complex because I would say two things. If I meet my service levels, I may not get any kind of appreciation. If I do not meet, I bring penalties to myself. Right? Because all my SLAs are linked with my final revenue or my margins. Right? So my bad day is really going to be bad if I do not meet service levels. Forget about planning, because planning will help me to bring my service levels adhere to certain things. Right? I'll bring another scenario. Wipro grows inorganically as well. As I said in the beginning when I was introducing myself, that a lot of merger acquisitions, take place in our area. So day one, we have to meet the SLAs at the minimum, correct? So if I do not meet those, my merger goes back. And a lot of my transformation objectives are linked with managing the service SLAs right at the beginning of the relationship to start. And I am a very dear part of the sales team and the merger acquisition team from WFM standpoint, because I provide that perspective right up front to them, saying that your service levels have to be met at that particular level. So I think for me, a good day is never there. I'm not saying negative, because I have to meet those services. But my bad days are if I do not meet, then I get penalties and that get recorded to WFM. Right? So that's what should I say? Service levels are very important.
So, from a service level perspective, I agree with the other panelists. It's the most important metric to me. Besides that, we've also heard some conflicting statements that, especially the AHT part. So, if an agent is talking to the customer, his AHT has a limit. I mean, people measure him with respect to the limited AHT. But the problem is, the more the agent speaks to the customer, the better he is, satisfied. For example, if you call in a contact center and you're trying to resolve a problem, the more slowly and more better way the agent talks to you, you'll feel more satisfied. So ultimately, it's to do with the, it's a conflicting statement that the 100 times should be less and the calls should be more. So that's another thought that I just wanted to know.
Good, so you got some different perspective. Any other question from the audience?
My question is about concept analysis. Something so there is a challenge that one faces defining what which can be measured, what kind of work people do, and there are things which can't be measured. So how building images works. Not having much information about what people do to be I would say a back office, which is not voice or voice, and then again, it's not manufacturing statement kind of setup, and you can see and measure and say, like these many units were created or
manufacturing. But when it comes to back office work, it becomes difficult to measure like what has done, how much has done. Say simple work can be done in 10 minutes, and it may take a day. Planning and creating the images for that is a challenge. So how in your organizations such things are measured, and what's the best way to do research?
So
So that's a very interesting and important question, and we face this with large back offices as we go and meet them. Primarily with back office, what I would say is it's similar to a contact center, although not the same, but it's similar in terms of like you get calls in the contact center and you get work items in the back office. So at least that portion is the same. And in a contact center, you have like calls coming in, people talking, and then you have handle time measurement and stuff like that. In back office, it's like how much time did a person take to complete one work item. Some work items, it again depends on different work types, right? There can be different kind of work types coming into the back office as well, and each of them having different kind of criteria. Although there are a lot of technology which is available in the contact center to capture everything, even the slightest movement of an agent is captured by the technology. But in back office, that is lacking. There is no technology to measure what the guy did. He came in from 9 o'clock and he went away at 5. At the end of the day, there's some matrices which are measured, but they're measured manually. But now we have the technology which can measure from the desktop itself how much time people are spending in which kind of area. And the administrators have the capability to categorize applications under productive, non-productive, work-related, non-work-related, and everything. And whatever the guy does in the desktop, it's categorized under that category. This is called desktop analytics. So desktop analytics solutions, technology-wise, is available to measure that. And we at NICE have gone a way ahead and integrated this technology with workforce management solution of ours, which provides a direct feed into WFM, just like a ACD would feed into WFM in a contact center. The back office desktop analytics will feed into WFM. So it will collect data from each desktop, collate it, and send it to WFM for forecasting, scheduling, and other needs.
that was a technology solution, right? And we use a bit of it, and I can vouch for it. It does wonders, right? Having said that, there is another aspect to it, right? These technology solutions typically are excellent when you are looking at things which can be done only on tests, and people are using desktops continuously. Back office processes sometimes comes with an environment where you are not working on desktop for entire 8 hours. You should, in that kind of scenarios, use more of Lean Six Sigma principles. Look at time studies. Come at something which is acceptable, doable, repeatable within your workforce, right? Work on agreed targets with your team leaders and colleagues, and then develop capacity planners, right? However, if the back office environment is something where people are available on desktop for most of the period of their times, I think the solution that Yogesh was suggesting, any of the workforce solution which can capture desktop analytics would be helpful, right? But otherwise, try to use Lean Six Sigma principles. That will also help you deliver capacity plan and all that stuff.
So I'm sure we will pick up more about the coffee break also much more detail, but let me just use the same question and just go over to places where there is no back office. I would genuinely question regarding Krishna. Krishna, how do you guys were involved in planning and stuff like that? You guys still talking data where they're monitoring movements of people. An IT guy when he comes to the office of right? What capacity planning you do in those kind of scenarios where the work or knowledge work so much of knowledge. It's extremely vague. Half of the time you can answer problems, you can think about that future. You don't know what you do, so what do you do in this kind of
So we are an IT services company. So probably some of it is slightly different in an IT environment. However, we depend on the technology heavily. So we have this tool called Omnichannel, through which all the tickets are routed to the engineers, and that's our productivity tool as well. So as such, at any given point in time, live data we get to see in terms of their productivity, utilization, and so on. So we do have 24/7 coverage, so whether people are looking for more, they are in office, at any point in time you can always monitor and see the performance.
Let's take the same question to Sreesha. For Finastra, what happens?
Hello, okay, because there are two sides to this, right? One, of course, is this customer support scenario. And there is this whole thing around application services and product development line. Product development, obviously, give us, there's no way you can, put these kind of structures around that and say, measure what you create in the plastic class and this and that. That's a very different ballgame. Now, in application services, obviously, there are a lot of things. First of all, product is divided into delivery, productive services. Then under each of those, there are different categories. Right? Each of those are subdivided into the whole project, of course, has got its own WBS. Right? And all those are very clearly delineated and they're recorded in the time recording system. We use OpenAir, and everything is clearly, classified there in terms of what the resource does in 8 hours a day. Right? How much of it goes into productive work? For instance, supporting pre-sales work, or supporting bid, or doing some, maybe product quality issues which are not billable. So all those are very clearly recorded in the time system. On the billable side, of course, it clearly goes into how much time is spent on the project, what are the various activities done on the project. So there's really very little, at least in terms of leakage of recording of time. I don't think that happens anymore. All companies are very much tight on that, right? So if you don't have that system, I think it's time to put that system in place. Otherwise, it's going to become very difficult to manage with spreadsheets. Right? So that's my conclusion.
Thanks. So this gives me a bit of a segue on the stuff around all of us in today's world depend on technology, and for every decision making we need to go back into data and technology. Few thought processes from each one of you in terms of which areas of your workflow, right, the technologies are well implemented and gives you the data quality which you actually love to do for, and which are the areas which you will still get up and say, hey guys, there's some work happening, but I don't think it's robust enough for us, and maybe it's an opportunity for some of the product vendors sitting outside or some entrepreneur sitting outside to start a startup in that particular area and do some work for you.
I think so we start this. So I think one of the gaps which we have clearly is in terms of getting really nailing down the demand which we have in the market, right? So I think that's a mix of technology as well as the intention of the people on the field to actually record the data, right? In terms of how accurate they want to be in terms of projecting the sales they want to bring into the company. So that's a big gap we have, and that's very important, especially for capacity planning and capacity building. If you don't have enough visibility into the demand, then we have an issue right down the line. So that's one gap. In terms of what we do good, I think definitely, like I said, in terms of the supply, in terms of what's the capacity available inside the company, and how it is planned over the next 3 to 6 months, what we're doing with it, I think there we're okay. But definitely we have to go some journey in terms of capturing the demand and how it's affecting us as a company.
Is it more of a tool or technology issue, or is it largely a sales-based behavior, saying if they enter more data and a possible question even there's a leak coming in?
I think from my experience, it's always been largely in terms of the sales guys' behavior, right? Because nowadays we have technology, we have tools to capture all that, with a lot of granularity. But I think it's a lot to do with behavior and how salespeople want to do that, right? How much they want to reveal in the organization. So what's the kind of bets they want to take?
Same questions, though.
So, I think data, like you said, whether technology is providing us and so on, I think it's like a customer expectation. You can never meet it. If you deliver in 24 hours, customer wants it 12 hours. If you deliver in 12 hours, they want it 2 hours. If you deliver in 2 hours, then they will say, I need to deliver when I was thinking about it. Right? I need to have done that time. So, obviously, we need a lot more technology. I think the problem that I faced, wherever I work with that we have systems. A system, HR system will be the HR data, workforce system will be workforce data, and say some other system, sales system will be sales data. There is no system which joins all the data and gives a picture. I think that's where we all find most of the problems. That we have systems available in silos, systems are giving information, but there is no system which is joining all the systems and giving one input which can be action looked upon by everybody in the same manner. And that's the biggest problem. From a clearly tool standpoint, I think workforce tools are generally, I'm just making a general statement, are generally under-invested than the HR tools. I'm not being biased about HR or WFM, but because HR becomes somehow very essential bread and butter. Where people say if this is not proper, then we can't live with it. But when it comes to WFM, then even if you do on Excel properly, things will work. So that's my bit to, if I were to segregate that, which area, I think WFM is the area which is under-invested and underdeveloped from a reporting, analysis or diabetes standpoint.
We're still dependent on the system giving transaction processing records, taking it off in Excel, it still works, right? You can see things now. All of the whole thing play for you. Are there some specific areas where you have experience that machine learning in AI is valuable? Or there are specific areas where you believe there's more of a buzzword, extensive money posted to play, ROI